because all I'm seeing on here is a bunch of folks coming up with these tunes. And I say that there's maybe about a handful of y'all that since this game has come out as of almost 2 weeks ago now, that it's pretty much clear to me that maybe there's maybe a tiny handful of y'all that actually know what y'all are doing when it comes to tuning on this thing. The first thing you got to understand about me is I am a lifelong racing fan of many motorsports. NHRA in particular. I was raised on NHRA and NASCAR since I was a little kid, and I know the sport very well. Now, here's the thing. Even though this is a video game, there is a few aspects about this that do kind of stay true to what NHRA really is. So what we're going to try to do today is try to show y'all the proper way to not only leave off the starting line good and get very good reaction times, because that'll be the first thing that we're going to focus on. And then from there, I'm going to try to kind of sort of give y'all an idea of the things that y'all need to look for in regards to how to potentially get your car faster. Now, one thing I will say right off the bat that you got to understand that is kind of true to life with this game is track conditions. Track conditions, as far as track temperature and everything, play a huge role in determining good ET time and good speed on this game. That is the key to winning most of these races. Now, as I said before, this is still a video game, so they've made it kind of easy for you to win a lot of these races just off the starting line advantage alone. If you get off the line good, 9 times out of 10 you're going to win. My reaction time kind of fluctuated a little bit, but I run 00 lights pretty consistently on here. So you best believe there's a lot of times where I'll red light as well. I'll admit that. I'll red light a lot on this game. And it's only because my reaction time is so doggone good. So what I'm going to teach y'all today is the proper way to get out the line. We're going to start there first. First thing you need to be doing when you come up in here, and especially if you're doing your career, take the time to use the test track. If you want to get better at playing this game, if you want to get better at getting off the line, you got to take the time to learn how to use that test track. That is the main key to your success on this game. And then, like I said before, the other half of that is your parts and pieces. The belief is, according to them, they will have you believing that your car will be at its peak because you have 100 level on your parts. But guess what, people? That don't make you fast. After the first full day of playing this, I discovered that. If you mix and match your parts and pieces that you do have out of your garage, your loadout is everything. Now, you'll notice this is my Pro Stock car here. Okay, because right now I'm in the middle of, still trying to get my Pro Stock right. And by the way, Pro Stock is going to be the hardest thing on this game to tune. One thing that I do not appreciate these game makers for top fuel. Have no problem with that. But shame on them for not even trying with Pro Stock. That's why the tuning is so hard to figure out. So the first thing you'll notice is my loadout right now on my top speed and torque, I'm sitting at 100. But I'm toying with a couple things. And I'm about to show you why. Because depending on which track you're running on, it does make a difference depending on the track. Because when it comes down to track conditions and the surface of said track that you're running on makes a huge difference. Now, if you're an NHRA fan, you will note that in the history of the NHRA, most of your top speeds have come at, there's a couple of tracks that's been on the schedule that have been there since I was a small little boy, going way back. Gainesville has historical runs for ET, speed, and just overall performance. That's probably going to be your best track on here. Another good track that performs very well is the Texas Motorplex. One of my personal favorites, being that I'm from Texas. I actually went to that race in 1987 and saw all my heroes and stuff, but that's a story for another day. But the bottom line is, track service makes a difference. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. We're just going to go get a little peek right here at the next event, but I'm going to back out. We're not actually going to race. Now, if you look over here to your top right, and you see here how it has the different days, pay attention to this. Now, this is Atlanta Motor Speedway, okay? But what I'm about to show you will determine how you tune your car later on down the line, which is what I'll get to in a minute. But this is what you want to focus on. It's going to change from day to day by the time Sunday rolls around. So watch this. We're on Friday now. Look at the morning and afternoon between the ambient temperature and the track temperature. That's the key. You go to Saturday, it's going to change. Each day, it's going to change. Okay? So, what you need to be doing when you're in between rounds and in the garage is not only making repairs and swaps to your parts and pieces, you might want to be making slight adjustments on your tune, because depending on what type of time of the day that you're running in determines how much ET and speed that you could possibly have. Now, your morning time and your nighttime are going to be your coolest temperatures, no matter what. And in the real world, those are where some of your best times are going to be. Now, it is possible to still get good ET time and good speed when you have a baking bright ass sun. Well, let's just go ahead and put it out there. We know this because you have to make the right adjustments. Now, you are not going to be able to maintain that same nice little speed in ET. But if you just want to focus on consistency, which is the key to winning championships on this game, it's also the key to getting even better at how you play the game. Okay? So let's go here to first race, Auto Club. We're still focusing on track temperature for right now, because like I said, this is part of the key to your success on learning how to play. Notice the track temperature is different here, but you're also kind of getting a sneaky peek at what the track surface looks like, because like I said before, it does change from track to track. Now, as I said before, you want to take some time to make sure you're running on that test track as well. But also understand that just because you're running good times and ETs on that test track doesn't necessarily mean that you will run that same time that you ran from the test track to whatever track you're getting ready to run on for the event. So that is where you may have to possibly spend a little bit of money, and you might have to every now and then do a test race every now and then. Now, normally I skip the test race and I try to do at least 2 qualifying sessions to help save myself money. But if I'm trying to find a certain little speed or ET, I want to be able to get in here and just get good, consistent runs. The key to your success is just getting in the show. Don't worry about trying to be the #1 qualifier, especially if you're not working with a whole lot of money, because that's going to change. But as I'm explaining all this, you know, I'm still showing these temperatures. See, Saturday, that's going to change up. Like I said before, morning and nighttime are going to be your coolest times of the day. Every time, no matter what track. You see this? That's Pomona. We go here to Tucson, it's the same thing. The temperature changes, the track surface is going to change. So from track to track, surface to surface, temperature to temperature, this is where you need to be making your adjustments at, because you have to. Now, you go here to Gainesville, notice Gainesville has much cooler temperatures as compared to some of the other tracks. See, you're working with 50 degrees in the morning during test and tune. You get to qualification Saturday in the morning time, you're looking at 50 degrees. But you go to Gainesville, it's 46 degrees in the morning, 57 at night. What did it say for Pomona? 50 to 59 in the nighttime hours. So that's going to be about your average. So you want to make sure that whatever track you're running, you're adjusted just right, because your tune is not going to be the same for every track. So get used to preparing yourself to do a tune for each track. And this might require you to have to pull out your little cell phone, get out your little notepad or whatever it is that you need to do. Hell, I got a whole notepad full of shit right now because I'm not ashamed. I even take time to do these videos just to play around a little bit, but what I'm seeing out there is a bunch of y'all coming up with these crazy ass tunes, and one of the main things that I'm seeing that's really making me crazy right now is this right here. Do not, and I repeat, do not mess with your brakes. Your brakes ain't changing your speed. They're called brakes for a reason, people. Okay? They're called brakes for a reason. The only thing, I don't care what class it is you're running right now, the only thing that you need to be messing with here is making slight adjustments to your front and rear tire pressure. Nothing else right here. Okay? The other thing where you can help yourself out, I wouldn't even mess with this stuff right here. Your steering speed can make a difference because that'll help you actually be able to drive the car at top speed when it wants to get to weeble wobbling all over the track. Okay? Weight distribution. Small tweaks. For the most part, depending on what class you're running, you might not even need to mess with anything here. But this right here, just these two areas right here, that's your grip, because you need grip to be able to run on these tracks. You have to have that. You have to have that. Grip is the key to not only getting off the line good, but it'll also help you maintain a nice healthy line down that track, and you can run straight on down with no problem. If you're looking for speed, for those of y'all that are trying to play around to get more speed, get better ET times and things of that nature, this is your bread and butter right here. This is where all your speed comes from. Okay? All this whole powertrain and transmission is the key to your speed. Find what works for you, but at the same time, find what works within the level of common sense. You can't get crazy with this. Don't be adjusting your shit all over the place. That don't make no sense. Don't do that. Don't do that. All you're doing is making whatever good setup you might have had a whole lot worse, and you're just going to get slower and slower and slower. Ask me how I know. I'll wait. But anyway, like I was saying before, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to wipe out everything that I have right here. Everything. And I'm going to start from scratch and just give y'all a taste. This is just pro stuff for right now because, like I said, this is what I'm in the middle of. But I'm about to teach y'all a thing or two. All right? Watch this. Of course, you want to go to first gear. Let's go ahead and do a simple burnout. Now, on average, you want to have your temps. Oh boy, they're going to make me... Okay, we're going to have to go back. I ain't going to edit that out because I ain't ashamed. Let's go back to that test track. You want to make that burnout anything above 175 without blowing up your tires is where you want to start to be at. Wait for them bad boys to get nice and just close. I can do a little bit of stuff to do that, but you want it. The focus is you want to have these rear tires higher than 175. See, that's too cold. And don't take all day backing up. Get that motherfucker back to the line as quickly as possible. Now watch this. Don't worry about the guy in the other lane, because he gonna be there. They give you damn near a minute just to turn the damn light on to stage. So watch this. This is what you want to do. This is the proper way to do a burnout. Don't worry about the guy in the other lane. That's the AI. The AI gonna do what the AI is gonna do. Don't worry about what they doing and trying to hurry and get some line. Get them bad boys nice and hot. other thing you want to do when you're backing up, try to stay as much as possible in your tire tracks. That's where all your grip is going to be, and that'll also help you to get a nice clean line. Just red line. That's okay. Okay, that's 201. We can go faster than that. I red lighted that time, but that's not the point. Now, let's go back into tuning. Watch what I do here. Now, if you actually take the time to read what's there on the right-hand side of the screen, it's literally telling you what you need to do if you focus on the right spot. Don't look at all the bull crap at the very two top paragraphs. That ain't where the key is. They're literally telling you in this bottom paragraph what it is that you need to do. All your grip in all of these cars on this game, no matter which one you're running, this is the key right here. This rear wing angle, that's where your grip is. You want this to be down a little bit lower, okay? This needs to stay high. What you don't want to do is this right here. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're killing all your momentum, and you're gonna get slower and slower. Don't do that. You don't want to go higher here. You want to be a little bit up above, okay, or somewhere close by. It's even okay to have it on the same exact spot if you want to. Okay, so for the Pro Stock car for right now, what I've been toying around with, this is about where I play around with it right here. Okay, 3675. That's decent. That's going to give me some decent grip. And then I'll make a slight little adjustment here. I might kick it over depending on track temperature, things of that nature, but just play around with this a little bit. This is the area that you want to be in. You want to be somewhere in the 30s because, like I said before, grip is everything on this game. Without grip, you can't get speed, and you damn for sure can't get good reaction time off of that because you're too busy focusing on sliding all over the track. Another thing I'm going to show you how to get your car just right to get a nice, clean, straight line. It's not going to hurt you to make an adjustment to your steering speed. For those of my NASCAR players out there, you should know this. Your steering angle is everything because you need good handling, and you don't want to be sliding all over the track. So take the time to make that adjustment and find what works for you here. You can kind of toy with this a little bit, but don't bring it up too high. I normally keep mine around about 29, 3350, depending on the class of car. I've noticed with Top Fuel and Funny Car on here, you want to be somewhere in the 3350, 38 range, okay? But for some of the lower class cars, you kind of toy around with it a little bit and just, use that as your adjustment to get your handling better. And then, depending on, like we were talking about earlier with the time of the day, make a small little tweak to your tire pressure here and there. Because tire pressure can help you get good grip too. Now, here is your bread and butter like we were talking about before. This is where all your speed is going to come from right here. I'm not going to mess with my differential right now. And there's and I'll explain why here in just a whole minute. But I'm going to put in a little tune that I've been using that gets me about 206, 207. I've even touched 209. Now you'll notice on here, I'm still trying to find a way to get faster with this bad boy because I know these cars are capable of 212 and 215 because I've seen it done. Okay. Now, I notice a lot of y'all out there ain't trying to mess with Pro Stock because none of y'all posting no videos about it. I am, because I ain't ashamed. But you don't want to go all the way up here. You can do it, and yeah, you'll pick up some speed, but then if you decide to make adjustments here to your gear ratio, you're going to kill all your momentum, your ET is going to go down, and damn for sure your speed is going to go down. So what you want to do is start from scratch here on the final drive. What I've been toying around with is playing with it about 315, 320. That's about where I'm at, okay? Notice, everything is how it's supposed to be right now. So, we're gonna go this way with it, to the left. 314, 308. That's what the Pro Stock car. Some of your high classes funny car and all that, you might not even have to make no adjustments to your gear. I'll just tell you that. But 9 times out of 10, all your speed is gonna come right here in this final drive in your transmission, and maybe in your differential, depending on the class that you run. But this is where all your speed is gonna come from. Make sure you pay particular close attention to first gear, second gear. Third gear is kind of suspect in the Pro Stock car. But this fourth and fifth gear, that's where you're going to gain a lot more of your speed, because by the time that you get close to that finish line, you should be at top speed at that point. And this is where I'm kind of, but that's where most of your speed is going to come from. So let's get a little run in here real quick. I'm going to kick it back up to the 678 like I had it before, and we're going to keep it at 314 in the first gear, 256 in second gear. We're going to leave it at 180 there, but in fourth gear we're going to go up. Now you'll notice here on the right that it's telling you if you go the opposite way, you'll get more acceleration, but you'll lose speed. When it comes to Pro Stock on here, like I said earlier in the video, they did not put enough emphasis on Pro Stock to be able to tell you the truth. All the emphasis was put on Pro Mod, funny car, top fuel. Shame on them. But at any rate, we're going to play with 140 right here, and then I'm going to show you a little something. Watch the difference in tire temperature when I go to do my burnout now. See how fast the tires are heating now? Go ahead and let it go and come up off the gas. Nice and easy. A little bit cooler than I wanted, but 170 is still okay. As long as the tires are green, that's what you want. Damn it, I'm red light again. See, that's not quite the speed that we're looking for, but one of the things that you'll notice is that I got right down the line, just what I was talking about, stayed within my groove, stayed within my tire tracks, and I had all the grip in the world. That's the main focus. That's what you want to have. You don't want that bad boy where you have to move the car around, because the more the car moves around off the track, the more speed you're going to scrub off, and the more likely you are to kill your car and crash and get yourself disqualified. Now, show you a little trick when it comes to these parts and pieces. Your loadout is everything. Like I said, I'm probably off the setup that I had just a little bit before I reset everything. But my point is, no matter what class you're in, this aspiration, your top speed, that's where your speed is going to come from. Engine, for torque, that's where your speed is going to come from. This transmission is everything. But guess what? None of these have to be at 100 for you to get a good speed and for you to get a good time. It just depends on the track. So watch this. We're going to go down to the 2-star on the transmission. We're going to go down on the engine, and I'm going to put it at about 78. We're going to leave this aspiration just the way it is. Notice my deceleration is at 65. That's your parachute, of course. That crap really don't matter. With Pro Stock, your aerodynamics kind of sort of make a difference. You don't want it too high and you don't want it too low. You damn for sure don't want to use the 1-star because you'll be slow as molasses. Don't even do it. So you want to mess 2-star, 3-star, you know, take your pick. But aerodynamics do make a difference. For those that don't want to believe it, aerodynamics do make a difference. The sleeker your car is, the faster it'll be. So now, let's go up in here and make a slight adjustment to gear ratio once again. We're going to go down backwards 135, and I'm going to give it just a slight little tick down to 0.96 on the 5th gear. Now watch this. Like I said, get the tires nice and high. You want to be above 175 degrees, but don't blow up your damn tires. It's okay to dump all the gas too. And keep that bad boy in a straight line. Back it up. See, we sitting at 203. That's still good, but you don't want them too hot. Get on up to that line. Now, if you want to get good reaction time, you don't go on green, you go on yellow. Look at that, 200 and a clean run. Back to the HQ. So as you can see, just the few little things that I did right there are basically showing you that there's more speed there. So as you saw, you ain't gotta have 100 everything to go fast. And I could go even faster than that, but I've messed up my tune now, so yeah, it is what it is. So I'm probably gonna have to play around with this a little bit more just to get it quite right. But like I said, this is just pro stock. You could do all the same stuff that I'm talking about, whether you're running super mod, pro mod. With funny car, it's gonna be different because you're dealing with clutches. The differential's still gonna be there, okay? You're dealing with 3 things. It's 1, 2, 3 on top fuel and funny car. 1, 2, 3. You're only seeing 3 things. With all the other classes, you're gonna see the whole tuning screen. It's everything. But like I said before, your grip is in these 2 areas right here. To get better handling on the track, play around with your steering speed. Get a good feel for it that's right for you, and that'll keep you from going all over the damn track. Do not, and I repeat, do not mess with your brakes. They're called brakes for a reason. Make a slight adjustment to your tire pressure every now and then, depending on the time of day and the track that you are running on. Your differential, can it make a difference? That's still kind of up for debate, because I haven't found any faster or slower speed really playing with the differential, but I have found that the final drive is where you can pick up a lot of speed. When I first started playing this game, the day that it came out, I had it all the way up here to 340, and I was getting decent times and decent speed, depending on the class that I was running. But then I started to notice that as I progressed through the game and started picking up the parts and pieces that I need, that my time started to get a little bit slower than what they should have been. So by hook or by crook, you are going to end up coming up in here and making adjustments to it. Oh yeah, and by the way, leave the reverse alone. Don't even fuck with it. Leave the reverse alone. You ain't even got to mess with that. Just like the brakes, it's reverse. It's there for a reason. It just helps you to back up. You ain't gonna pick up no speed there. You're just going in reverse. It's not that serious. But yes, this right here is the key to your success. All this right here, final drive, first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, that's where all your speed is. All your handling is gonna come from your tire pressure. It's gonna come from your steering speed. And every now and then, depending on what track you are running and what class you are running, you might even be able to find a little bit more track grip and handling here in your ride height. 9 times out of 10, depending on what class you're running, you're probably not even gonna mess with this ride height. Leave it just like it is. Your rear ride height will be the key to your success here. That'll get you better handling. And for the love of God, don't mess with none of this right here. You are guaranteed to hit the wall if you make any changes to this. For the most part, you don't even have to touch that. Leave it just like it is. These cars are fast anyway. But your front wing angle, remember, don't worry about the 2 paragraphs on the right at the very top. They're telling you, they are telling you, literally telling you how to get better grip and get better downforce to get better handling on the track right there. And for those of y'all that can't read, I'll read it. Front downforce is generated at the front end of the car and acts on the front of the car. Generally, the front of the car should produce less downforce than the rear of the car. So, they are telling you, you need to make a slight adjustment to that front wing. But don't go crazy with it. Don't go way back here to the back and doing all, don't do that. Please don't do that. You'll kill your car. You'll kill a lot of your speed. Rear tire grip is everything. Think about this, people. This is drag racing. Your rear tires are fatter and bigger. Your wheels in the front are smaller. So where is all your grip going to come from? Your rear tires. That is the key to your success. Now, let's talk about how to properly get off the line and get good reaction time on here. Like I said, I cut a 00 light pretty consistently, but I also red light a lot. You don't go on green. You go on yellow. Let me show you something. Go on yellow. You should already be gone. Look at that, 006. That's how you get good reaction time. Want to see it again? Pay real close attention to what I'm doing. Go on yellow. Don't wait for that green light. Go on yellow. That's drag racing. I don't care what flags you're running. You go on yellow. Bad boys nice and hot. Like I said, you want to be above 175, but don't blow your tires up. Come on up to this line. Stay in your tire tracks. If you don't stay in your tire tracks, you ain't gonna have no grip. Go on yellow. Did you see it? 00 lights. That's the key. And it won't hurt you to be late. The highest reaction time that you need to be having if you're going to leave on yellow shouldn't be no more than 175 to the 200 levels. If you way above that, I'll beat you all the time. I'll kill you. I'm gonna wall you to the tree every time if your reaction time is a 433 and these 3s and 5s and shit that I'll be seeing out here. Don't do that. Leave on yellow. So, that's all I'm gonna show you for now. The rest of this y'all should pretty much be able to figure out on your own. I'm not even gonna get into no race because I've already explained pretty much everything that you need. I'll do some more videos later on, and for anybody out there that really wants some more tips, just come holler at me. Put it up in the comments. I don't give a damn. Tell me something. Show me what you got. Hell, you might even got something for me, because I'm always looking for a better tune to go fast. And this is just one class.